Hi, can you introduce yourself, your name, country of origin, and what you're studying in France?
This is Najwa Alam, and I'm coming from Afghanistan. I study SASI, which stands for Sustainability and Social Innovation in HEC Paris.
What made you choose this particular field of study in France?
Well, when I was in my country in Afghanistan, I've worked with multiple international NGOs, gender inequality officer, and then promoted to a specialist position. So I was mainly engaged in the topics very sensitive to my culture, but at the same time very important for having a sustainable future. And at the same time, there were multiple other issues surrounding the environmental problems and climate change and social inequalities that really drawn my attention. So that's how I get to HEC in SASI.
That's really great. And how did you discover the program and the school?
Well, I think it's amazing because SASI, in fact, it's kind of training students from diverse countries, diverse backgrounds to become the future leaders for sustainability, never mind like working in a government setup or working with the international NGOs or working with corporate worlds. We have to bring all these different entities into the table and make sure that climate change, sustainability, social justice is an important topic of discussions so we can create a good future.
Okay, that's really great. And do you like it?
Well, I love it. I love it. In fact, one of the specifications of SASI major is that you are in touch with students from a lot of different countries, from Asian countries, African countries, and United States. So, and they bring all these different visions, their academic expertise and their professional expertise when we are having these conversations. So I find it very diverse, very fun.
And why did you choose to study in France over other countries?
Well, I would say France was a dream for me, but it was not my priority. And in fact, when I was a kid, I used to love and have this dream of visiting Paris. And in my language, we call it Arus Sharha, which means like the bride of the cities. You know, like Paris is that beautiful. But I never thought I will have the chance to study in France. But when I graduated university, I took a TOEFL test and I was applying to different universities and I ended up in Paris. So I kind of manifested Paris.
Yeah, that's a beautiful dream, and Paris is a really good city. What were your expectations before living in Paris?
France was in total a very new concept to me. I didn't really know a lot about it, but I knew that I will visit beautiful places. I would interact with different people, different experiences, and I would have like a very diverse group of friends. And I think that was exactly what I expected.
How did you apply to your program in France?
Well, I went through the legal process of recruitment at university. So I contacted the admission team, and they were very kind enough to give me all the necessary information. What are the requirements, what documents I have to submit, how to apply and when to apply. And that's how I recruited into the university.
Did you need to take any language entrance exam?
As you probably can guess, I'm an English speaker. So I'm studying in English. My courses are all in English. So the language requirement was having a TOEFL test. So that's the document that I submitted for fulfilling the language requirement.
And by the way, did the school support you during your application?
A lot. I have to say that Mission Office is just amazing. They will do their best. They will give you all the necessary information, all the available scholarships, all the different programs for PhD, for masters, and even on some online category of academic courses that you can take. It depends based on your willingness to pursue which exact major or exact course in the university. So I would say if I'm here just because of their efforts, because I had a kind of like a tough journey coming to HEC, and they were there all this entire time with me, supporting me emotionally, you know, that is something I would count on.
All right, how would you describe the overall HEC program?
HEC offers different programs, for instance, for masters, and it usually depends on you. For instance, if you're seeking a one-year master's, there's a specific specialization track. If you're looking for 2 years program, which is called Grande École, so it's like 2 years you one year is called, the first year is called M1. It's very general. And the second year is then specialization. So as based on my experience, I think both of them are very necessary, and still coming the point, like if you're looking for a specific kind of skill sets to have, then you apply to specialization. Otherwise, you apply to like Randicol, which is 2 years. It will give you knowledge of all the different courses that are requirement in your management journey. For instance, accounting, finance, recruitment, and everything. And they have different categories of master's program, like SASI, like a master's in finance, like a master's in strategy, entrepreneurship, and more.
Okay, and so on, what are the most important subjects you have to learn at HEC?
All of them are, I would say, important, but for me, the one that are very close to my heart is the one from my SASI major, because they are focusing on very important current issues of the planet. For instance, decarbonization, or for instance, rethinking energy and strategies for sustainability. And these subjects are really close to my heart.
Can you give us a concrete example of a project you've been working on?
Well, as it's just the beginning of the year, but I would say we just got our projects. One of our classes related to strategy. So the concept or the theme of our team is that we have to approach on international NGOs working in different settings, different countries, and try to build strategy for sustainability that is tailored to different context of cultural differences in different countries. So this is something interesting, and is always just September, just the beginning of universities, but yeah, this is the project that I'm working on with the team.
Okay, that's great. So there's like more to look for the rest of the year.
Exactly.
What does a typical week look like for you?
Well, at the beginning of the school or university, it's pretty intense. So for us, we had like these 2 intense week of seminars from morning and the evening, because the master program is a full-time commitment. It's not like a part-time university program. But after that, it gets easy. It gives you time to get yourself engaged with campus activities, explore your surroundings, explore Paris, try to make friends. So you then become very flexible with your schedule. And the 1 week would be that you go attend classes, you go study with your classmates in the library, and then you plan something for the weekend to go to Paris and explore. This is like the entire routine of a week.
What do you think really makes a difference to study in this program?
To be a good student, I would say in HEC it's quite challenging, because different students are coming from different academic background and different academic systems. For instance, in my case, I'm coming from Afghanistan, and the university system in the curriculum, it's totally different. So I had to challenge myself to study like a French student, because the classes are like in very fast pace, and you have to run to catch up everything. It helps you with your critical thinking, your critical ability, to really force yourself to be a different kind of student. But at the same time, you can learn a lot. The difference would be to have before class research about the topic that you're going to study in the class, and also repeat your studies after the class, going to the library. So you can make sure that you know everything. There's not something that you're missing, although maybe you're coming from a different background, not business background. So this is how you can compensate.
And can you give us an example of what you were like studying in Afghanistan that is different than France?
Yes. For instance, in Afghanistan, we didn't really had this option of choosing our own classes. Like there are some main classes that you can pick, and there are some classes that like electives that you go and choose based on your values and what you want to look for. But in Afghanistan, we had like this very strict curriculum. Everyone should follow it. Mm-hmm. And there was not like room for a lot of flexibility. Here, I'm very happy that, for instance, if I'm coming from a finance background, then I can go and pick more finance classes. Mm-hmm. If I'm coming from, I don't know, like computer science background, then there are options related to AI, related to data science, data analytics, that I can go and pick them. So the flexibility is one of the huge differentiators.
So yeah, you have a lot of choice to choose between classes, etc. Okay, so now, did you need a visa to come in France?
Yes, of course. I think every student needs a visa to come to France, especially if they're coming from South Asian countries. You need a legal process to go through. You need to be first accepted to the university, to have the enrollment certificate, and that's how you can then apply for a visa, buy your tickets, you get on the train. Yes. And then you come to the university.
Yeah, that's great. Did you need to handle a lot of things? I'm talking about habitation, insurance, banking, registrations.
Yes, exactly. These are the exact things that I handled after I joined the university. You need health insurance, you need a bank account, you need a SIM card, first of all, and you need to extend your student visa. There's also another system for international students. They can apply for a CAF system where they will be compensated like small amount of money because they are students in France, which I think is like an advantage. So there are multiple processes after getting admitted. You have to be aware of it. It's not just like you came to the school and that's all.
And was it difficult for you or not?
To be honest, in France, everything is in French. So that was a little bit challenging. And at the beginning, I was using a lot of Google Translate. But at the last, I made good friends who knew French. Also had a student affair manager. She helped us a lot with the processing our administrative work. And one thing that I would say is HEC has that department to help international students with these kind of topics. If they don't know, they just approach the center that I don't know how to deal with these documents, how to process them, and they will help them with processing their documents.
So how did you manage the transition between your home country and France?
Well, I would say the transition is huge because we are in totally different settings. Everything is different. The politics is different. The weather is different. The language is different. The food is different. You know, culture, the way people greet, everything's different. So at the beginning, you find yourself a little bit isolated, and then after a time, you find yourself comfortable. You can be brave enough to learn, to approach people, get out of your comfort zone, and then you discover a new culture. So the thing that you were uncomfortable with them, you know, at the beginning, and at the last, they become something that you adore, that you love, because it becomes a part of your identity, you know. Even if you spend very less time in another country, you take a heritage from that culture and that country within you. So this is how the transition was.
And you like that, all right?
Yes, I love it. I think I'm un petit peu français.
And you were talking about Afghanistan. Have you ever felt homesick of your country?
Well, a lot. A lot. And this is something that stays, I think, with everyone who spends a lot of time, you know, out of home. But I would say at the beginning, it's very difficult. Especially the first 3 to 6 months, it's very difficult. You miss your mom, you miss your family, you miss your friends, the food you miss, you know, the gatherings, the specific cultural events that might be hard to celebrate in another country. You miss everything, literally. But after a while, you get adopted to it. And this is the basic nature of humans, you know, you get adopted to things. So, and it's worth it because you explore the other world, how people are living in the other side of the world. And you expand your experience. You learn a lot and you grow in this time. Because when something is really challenging you, it helps you to grow.
By the way, how did you adapt to your life in France?
By learning language. I had to push a little bit out, you know, despite having classes, I had to find some time to start French. If you know at least a little bit of French, then you can feel yourself at home. Even like if you know some very stupid phrases, people will encourage you for that, you know. It's very important to not feel isolated, but try to get into the aspect that is unknown to you. I think language is that bridge. Language connects you with the culture. It connects you with the mindset of the people, and it connects you with, you know, expanding your friend circle. So if you know a language, then people will be just welcoming you, know, they will just feel like they already know you.
So now you can handle a discussion in French.
I would say I'm still a student, still like in the basic level, but I love the language. You know, at the beginning, it's usually like a love and hate relationship, but after some time, you know, you're like, that makes sense. You get used to it and you love it. And the more you feel comfortable speaking it, I think the more easy it gets to get fluent.
Don't worry, you will get it really fast. Okay, and about future, what are your plans after graduation?
I'm a sassy student. I will consider the first few years after graduation of my life to work in different settings, like in working with NGOs and then working with corporate worlds to really understand different policies in each and every level. And I will build up, in fact, on my current knowledge that I have, that I take from the SASI program with me. And I will probably go to the consulting field because I would love to still learn more. There's a lot to learn in this field. This is such a growing field, new field. You have to really keep yourself updated about everything that's going on. And once I feel the confidence that I know more and I know enough, I would really love to explore the world of consulting more and more.
And do you see yourself returning home or staying in France? Or maybe travel to other countries?
You know, I'm coming from Afghanistan, and the current political climate is a little bit controversial at the moment. Although it was my main goal to return to my country after graduation, but at the moment, I think I should give it a little bit more time. By the time I think everything gets to normal, everything's fine, and we have the opportunity to work there, we have the opportunity to practice our basic human rights, I would prefer to stay in France, work for a time in France, or explore other countries, work there, enrich my experience, and when the time arrives, I'd definitely love to go to my homeland, it's like our mother, you know, so you always feel homesick, and it doesn't really matter where you are, you know. It's just like, I don't know, that thing is just like a default, it's just built in yourself. Yes. That you miss where you were born.
What's one thing you wish you had known before coming?
The importance of the language, because if I knew that I would come into France and study in France, I would definitely prepare myself for at least the basic level of French so I can better integrate myself into the society, because it's easy to live on campus. It's like international campus, everyone's speaking English, but once you're out of the campus, oh man, you're in the problem. So you cannot even go to a normal grocery store and buy your things, and when you're lost, you can't find your direction. And I was expecting that because Paris is like this very touristical place, so maybe a lot of people will be able to communicate in English, but that's not the case. So I would say this is your destination of your studies, then please at least prepare yourself for basic French, so you know, you feel yourself at home and you don't really face severe problems interacting and solving your day-to-day problems.
So learn French before coming into France. So if you could change or improve something in your experience, what would it be?
Well, I would say to be more socially active, because I'm a Grande École student, so it's the second year of studies that I'm doing. And the first year, I had too many classes, and I was thinking that, I should not be part of a lot of associations and student clubs and stay focused on the study. I have a lot to catch up. But I think I missed a world within me, you know, and this is the lesson that I got, and this year I'm practicing. So this year I'm part of a lot of student clubs, like consulting, like sports, like music, like art, because in different association you find something like a unique value that can really improve your overall experience. For instance, studies is going to be very, very boring, and at the end of the year you will not have a lot of good memories. So it's better to like have some friends for I don't know, just for jogging or running, so you can be healthy and study good. Or for instance, just attend some art classes, so you will be an artist and a good student as well. So this is the combo that I would suggest, you know, for the new students, newcomers to adopt to. Don't just focus on one thing, try to explore other opportunities as well.
Okay, so about the diversity in the classroom, what diversity brings more to the table?
A lot, because NSASI cohort, which is known for its diversity, like students from more than 35 countries are coming and sitting in a class. And then we have all these amazing and controversial topics around climate, around human rights, around fire, around war, around peace. In each of them bring a different perspective. They talk about how they see a solution and how they question the integrity of the topic. Everyone's coming from different political background. An American student would see it as they would more see it as a political thing. Mm-hmm. Students from African countries, they were more focused on the resources. Like, is it happening because of the resources? Every and each students bring a different aspect, and they transfer the atmosphere of the class to like a debate, you know, that you can learn from, you can grow from. It's not just like a one-directional thing that you sit in the class, professor teach you his own ideas only, and that said, you have to accept it, and then you will at the end write a test. Mm-hmm. No, you challenge that idea in the professors. You discuss all these different themes, create a debate, feel yourself active.
You kind of learn of each other.
From all of different backgrounds, different countries.
Thank you, Najwa, and thank you for watching, and see you soon on Toddy's University.